Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you? It's Monday. How are you doing? It's Kirsten Liebelt. Jump on in. Let's chat insulin resistance today. It's so good to see you. Okay, so let's see here. What are the homework, not the homework. Can you tell it's Monday? OMG. Let's see here. What are the housekeeping points? If you're on the replay, let me know you're on the replay. I always want to know that. Let me know where you're coming in from. You guys, it's Monday, December 2nd. I'm so excited to have you here. How did your Thanksgiving go? I would love to know, how did your holidays go for you? I had such a terrific weekend. I will not bore you with the details. It was very boring to everybody else, I'm sure, but to me, it was like spectacular. I spent the day with my family on Thanksgiving, and it was so lovely. And I know I touched on it last Friday, but it was just so lovely. We ended the day like putting together a puzzle and watching the Polar Express and Elf. I mean, all the things. And these are with adult kids. Like, life is so good. And then I spent the weekend kind of like tucked in a little bit. I woke up to some snow in Minnesota today. Good morning, Terry. Good morning, Jan. Oh, good to see you guys. Everybody's on. I love that so much. And let's see here. So now I had been doing a small business Cyber Monday deal, and it's kind of like I'm almost out. So I've been reconfiguring. I'm like, oh, okay. So you guys know that I did the interview with Jenny Potter in the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. I put that up there for you guys on TikTok this time because I say it fast. I'm a fast talker. And so Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. And it was such a good interview. And her first book was Self-Sabotage No More. We did that in the group. And now her second book is called Stuck No More. And I'm sending those out for orders that were of a certain amount. And I'm literally down to like my last few. Yeah, they're going really fast. And so what I thought that I would do is just through the remainder of Cyber Monday, the last few can go. That's perfect, obviously. And it's called, here, I want to pull this out for you so you can see. It's called Stuck No More, Jenny Potter. I don't have a link for it or anything like that. But remember, we talk a lot about our mindset. We talk a lot about, I tell you guys this all the time. This is easy. Supplementing is easy. Just getting in a routine, putting maybe some alarms on your phone. We think that's hard, but really what's hard is, good morning, Kristen. Good morning, beautiful, to you. Very good to see you. Good morning, Kimberly. But what's hard, Kimberly has a package coming in the mail. You guys, if you don't know, all the auto ships, they're called dittos. All the auto ships go into a drawing every month, and I pull out 2 names for 2 prizes every month, and Kimberly won one of them. Anyway, and it's all packaged and ready to go. Good morning, Claudette, and Claudette has the other one. Claudette, I don't know if you knew this morning or not, but you won the other prize for the auto ship in November. So woohoo! And a book is going out to Bethany. So you guys are like winner, chicken dinner in your family. That's so amazing. Okay, anyway. So this, what's harder can be our brain space and our heart, because our heart is connected to probably emotional eating when we're a child. We've got maybe things that were said to us when we were little. I mean, I was bribed to start dieting probably like in the 5th grade. Am I the only one? I should do a reel on that. Yeah, I remember it really, really well. And isn't that interesting? I mean, think about that for just a hot minute, how we're raised in a culture where whatever your culture is, to eat, right? For me, it was Italian, mangia, eat, right? But then when you gain weight, you're told you should probably lose a few pounds. And then you get that disappointed look. Anybody get the look? Yeah, I did. And then when you lose weight, like then I finally did, like in my senior year, I did it very unhealthily, using little medicinal things that weren't probably very legal, right? If you know what I mean. And I lost quite a bit of weight and I looked normal. And then you're told not to lose too much weight. I mean, honestly, the mind games are just limitless. And so anyway, awesome. Yeah, way to go, Claudette. Woohoo. And so I know that's why I bring this stuff to you for resourcing you. This is why. So this book is called Stuck No More, and I've been giving it away. I've had a handful. I had a stack. And for anybody who placed an order of a certain amount for Cyber Monday, I only have a couple left. And so what I will do then is I will extend it to for the rest of the day. Anybody who places an order, and it can be a new customer or a current customer. I'm not going to single that out, of 150 or more. And I will send you one. I will ship you one from Amazon because I don't have them in stock then anymore once this is done. So 150 or more, I'll send you the book right off of Amazon. Make sure you're registered as a customer so that I can see your information. Otherwise, I don't know where to send it to. If you check out as a guest, I don't know who you are and I can't send you a book or anything else. Kristen is doing the Lord's work over on TikTok. Tapping, 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 tapping. You're amazing. I love you. And you know what? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, or if you're like, well, I've been listening to you for a while, this happens a lot. I've been watching you for a while, but I just don't know what to order. A good cart, if you want me to send you a cart, a good cart would have the trio in it. A better cart would have the trio and the gut reset protocol, the primer, and a probiotic. I don't know where my probiotic is. Here it is. We would have the primer and the probiotic. Okay. And then the best protocol would be the trio, the gut reset protocol, and then the fat burner. Hold on. Let me see if I can grab where did I put my, and the fat burner is that's the orange pixie stick that I've been telling you about, where people are, you know what? It really does target your waist and your hips. I'm not even going to overhype it. I'm just going to tell you. So the good option is the trio. The best option is the trio and the gut primer with the probiotic. And then the best is, that's the better. And then the best is these two with the fat burner. It's an orange pixie stick. And I took mine already for this morning. So, I mean, I'm just telling you, like, I've already like exhausted my supply. So there's an orange pixie stick, and this has a clinical dose of an extract that is really, really working to target visceral fat. And it took me a while to even bring it to you guys because I wanted to make sure it wasn't going to spike sugars. It does not. And then I also wanted to make sure that like I could get some really good results on it. And so Jazindi, good to see you. Very, very good to see you. Carol, good morning. I wanted to make sure the results were there, because I don't want to bring you stuff that makes you think that I'm just going to bring you jazz hands or, like magical potions. And I don't want to do any of that. I want to be as authentic as I can be in actual results. I've noticed a huge decrease, at least an inch on my hips and my waist. I'm just going to say an inch. Let's just go an inch. My husband's love handles, and most people are saying that after one box, which is a 30-day supply, that's what they're seeing. So I'm just going to keep on going because I'm really appreciating the results even after 3 months now. So anyway, all right, we're going to get into this today. Let's talk about alcohol and weight loss, because I've been getting this question. Good morning, Linda. Oh, you're so welcome, Linda. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being your own advocate. That's really what matters. I mean, the truth is that I can come online and I can talk to myself all day long, but if you do not make the choice to become your own advocate, to become your own, like, you're going to stand up for yourself once and for all. And that's what I finally had to do. I finally had to stand up for myself and say, you know what? I'm not going to let people be my food pushers anymore. I'm not going to do this anymore. And I had to make decisions for myself. I was raised by a type 2 dad, insulin dependent. And if you're in the balcony on TikTok, come on in. And I just assumed that I was going to be type 2. And I'm the only one in my family, because of the things that I did. I'm just pointing on TikTok. I completely avoided type 2. I'm the only one. And I've lost 3 sizes in my 50s after my cycle stopped, which tells you, listen, it's a hormonal conversation. Insulin is a hormone. Okay? This is why this happens. Insulin is a hormone, and you have to treat it as such. So everything that I talk about, it all is interconnected, and it all makes perfect sense when you put your little puzzle together. So let me help you do that. Let me help you design a December that looks completely differently than the December you had last year or the year before or the year before. Today at 3:00 Central Standard Time, we will be in the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, and we will be doing our 19th 5-day challenge. So I'm very excited about that. Put a little marker on your phone, put a little alarm on your phone, and I will see you at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. So people have been asking me because of the holidays about alcohol and kind of like, can I be drinking during the holidays and how is this going to affect me, et cetera. So let me just tell you and then maybe give you some options. So what happens when you drink alcohol in general? Like, you're at a holiday party or, you just want a little glass of wine or whatever it is. I actually don't drink. And so it's not that I've never had a drink. It's just been a long time now. It's probably been, I don't know, a few years. I don't drink. And it never was something that was of a high interest to me. In high school, I did other things, but that's not what we're talking about today. Don't put the focus on me. Let's put the focus on you. I'm just kidding. But alcohol just was never my thing. But, when you drink, these are some of the fallout frustrations that could keep you on your hamster wheel. Okay. It can slow fat burning. Your body won't return to fat burning until the alcohol is completely metabolized. So if you're in fat burning mode and you're all excited about that, the second you take a drink, it's gone. Fat burning mode has ceased until you have burned off all of the alcohol that you just drank. It increases your water retention. So alcohol can cause dehydration, leading to water weight and bloating. Everybody knows that feeling, right? And then it also impacts your hormones. So alcohol can disrupt your sleep and it can increase your cortisol. We've been talking about cortisol a lot, further impairing weight loss and recovery. Okay. So something that you could do before you drink, if you are already taking the trio, you can either let me know in the comments or raise your hand where you are. Good morning. You just tried your first pixie stick, Lisa. OMG, yum. Can you have more than one a day? I've asked that question too. It's really funny you asked that because my husband and I just had that conversation. We don't say that we've never done more than one a day, but no, it's not recommended. I mean, and it's already a clinical dose. I don't think you need more than one a day to just answer that. Although I'm sure you're kind of joking, but I know it does. It tastes like candy, you guys. It's literally why I didn't talk about it, because I was worried that it was going to spike sugars. I know. Stick to one a day and see what happens. Good morning, Ruthie. Good to see you. Linda, you said liquid glucose. Yes, liquid sugar. You are right. That's a good way of saying that. I know you're joking, Lisa, but I'm not saying I haven't done it. So just FYI. All right. So before you have anything to drink, if you are on the trio, you are already taking a liver product. One of the supplements is for your liver, because your liver, what does your liver do? Number one, your liver metabolizes your fat. That's literally all you need to know. However, let's continue. Your liver also governs your hormones. Insulin is a hormone. Your liver also governs the glucose in your blood. Like, it's it's an organ with a really big job. And so if you actually take something like that before you're going to drink, it will help, because your liver is your detoxification organ. So like maybe you prep it. Okay. Just saying. So take a liver support supplement, like the one that you have in the trio. Eat a balanced meal with protein, fat to slow alcohol absorption. So maybe you're eating then, like if they're serving the ham or the turkey or we had brisket. We smoked a brisket for Thanksgiving. So you could have, eat some protein with some fat and slow the absorption of your alcohol, obviously not drinking it on an empty stomach. And I will give you alternatives to some of this. So liver, big piece of the puzzle. Again, the gut primer is extremely helpful for your liver health. Really helpful. Fermented greens, alkaline spices, really helping your liver do its job. Okay. So thank you, Ruthie. She's over on TikTok tapping my screen. You're amazing. So while you're, drinking, they always tell you to, if you're having a drink, to make sure that you're staying hydrated by alternating alcohol with water, adding electrolytes to your water to replenish minerals lost due to alcohol's diuretic effect. So a good electrolyte would be, there's one called, let's see here. I have one here. Let's see if I can reach for it. Hold on just a second. Somebody gave me these samples. A friend of mine gave me these samples recently. I don't have a link for these or anything like that. I'm just recommending them because they are zero sugar, LMNT, Element. If you keep these on hand, they're not super inexpensive, but they are worth it. So that when you are, a lot of times with going keto, sometimes what'll happen is, you need your electrolytes, put it that way. And having electrolytes like in your water at any given time. And she gave me these that are, I don't even know the flavors of these. They have, these actually you can warm up. So this one is chocolate chai, chocolate mint, and chocolate raspberry. So for instance, I would be able to warm this up. Remember, you can heat the primer, but you never want to heat a probiotic. Okay. So you could heat the primer. I could mix that with one of these. I'll have to see what that tastes like. That could be interesting. Hey, what if I found a new recipe for you guys? That would be cool. Before bed, then let's say you get home and you're like, oh, shouldn't have had that glass of whatever. Because as I said, the fallout is it's going to slow down your fat burning. You immediately stop burning fat. You immediately start to increase your water retention. And it's impacting your hormones to have any drinks, right? But having said that, before bed, you could take, and I've never done this, so this is, if you do this, I don't know anything about it, like how much or anything, take activated charcoal because it helps to bind toxins and reduce hangover effects. Now, I wasn't meaning to talk about drinking until you have a hangover, but that's an interesting piece of information nonetheless. Use a magnesium supplement. You guys, we talk about taking magnesium every night. And don't forget, I have a new magnesium launching. I can't wait to talk about it. I just need a launch date, and it will be a glycinate blend. So just hang in there. I've got one to explain to you. Element is great, especially warm, Kimberly says. Yes, yes, yes. I've done that before where instead of, because it's salty, because it's an electrolyte blend, but you warm that up. It's kind of like your own special hot cocoa. Anyway, so take a magnesium supplement to support detox and calm your nervous system. Bring your nervous system down. And then, of course, liver supplement. The next day, drink a lot of water, get your electrolytes in. You can drink green tea or consume EGCG. Hello, are you taking the trio? Are you on the trio? What extract is in there, right? Really good for metabolism and your visceral fat. So hello, I'm just telling you, there's a reason why these things are recommended to support your liver detox. It's all connected. Everything has a purpose. I'm a very functional person, so I want everything to have purpose. And then increase your vitamin C intake to aid in toxin breakdown. I take a vitamin C that is really potent, really good, really amazing. And it is sourced from acerola cherries. If you ever need an excellent vitamin C that is time released over 8 hours, let me know. I'll get you a link for that because it's amazing. And then let me just see here if I missed anything. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, so why alcohol can be problematic on your diet. I already told you about a few of the fallouts, but here are just some thought processes to have in and around this whole conversation. So your body prioritizes metabolizing alcohol over burning fat. When you drink, your liver works to process alcohol, temporarily halting fat loss, fat burning, potentially stalling your weight loss. So it stalls weight loss. Alcohol lowers your inhibitions and increases your appetite, making it harder to stick to your carb limit. So it triggers carb cravings. Alcohol creates oxidative stress. It depletes glutathione, which is a key detox compound, and places a burden on the liver. It hinders detox. So this is why we're talking so much about the liver. I mean, and there are doctors that I follow that basically say zero amount of alcohol, because alcohol literally is a poison to your body. If it wasn't a poison, your liver wouldn't have to detox it. I mean, just in terms of it being like as an ingestible liquid, it's actually poison. And then the calories add up. Even low carb alcohols contain empty calories that don't provide nutrients, but still impact your energy intake. So the different types that you could choose, like if you just really want that social setting, you really want that, sometimes we're still like maybe in social acceptance mode, or we're just transitioning. Like I talked to you guys about using carb blocker. I used carb blocker for 3 to 4 years just to navigate like social settings around the holidays, especially. This is what they do recommend. Dry wines, red or white, typically they have 3 to 4 carbs per glass. Okay. Spirits like vodka, tequila, and whiskey, they have 0 carbs, but often mixed with sugary mixers. So stick to soda water and lime. Okay. And then avoid at all costs beer. Even light options have 10 to 15 grams of carbs per serving. And I wonder if when you look at a can of beer, if there's more than one serving in that can. I don't know that to be true, but I'm just curious. And then number 2, avoid cocktails, margaritas, daiquiris, and other mixed drinks. They can pack 20 to 50 grams of carbs or more. And then, of course, it goes without saying anything that's a sweet dessert wine or a liqueur, right? Because those are the things that are all really messing you up. Okay, hold on. Make sure I'm not missing anything. I'm not. I don't think so. If I am, I apologize. It's StreamYard that kind of messes me up. So that I thought was super, super interesting. Again, your low carb choices would be dry wines like a red or a white dry wine that has 3 to 4 carbs per glass, as opposed to a beer that has 10 to 15. Drinking anything like vodka, tequila, or whiskey, which are considered spirits. They have 0 carbs, but sometimes they're mixed with a lot of sugary mixers. So make sure that you stick to soda water and lime. And you can do that anywhere. So a really good, do I cook with any wines? Lisa, that is a really good question. I don't, but I'm not opposed to it. And the reason why is because what I would be cooking would be, you'd cook off the alcohol, right? So like if you were using a dry wine or something like that, and like, for instance, if I was making a spaghetti sauce with a wine in it, I'm not opposed to that. In fact, I'm going to ask my nephew his spaghetti sauce recipe that was from my brother. And if that has wine in it, I would totally do it. I would totally, because you're cooking it down like all day. Because there are cooking wines. There are cooking wines, and I'm going to be honest, I do not know the difference between a cooking wine and a regular wine. Like, I don't know why they call something a cooking wine. Like, potentially, and I do not know this to be true, a cooking wine could have higher sugar because when it's reduced, it's going to give it a more sugary taste. I don't know if that's true, but I'm just making that up. Like, what's the difference? Maybe somebody knows. Does anybody know what is a cooking wine? Like what? Yeah, I could ask that question. Let me ask that question. What is the difference with a cooking wine? Let me find out for you. We'll just ask. So a cooking wine typically lower in quality and taste compared to regular drinking wine, designed for use in recipes rather than consumption. So it often has, it jumped on me, hold on. Often has a harsher or overly salty flavor. Higher quality, regular wine is higher quality with more nuanced flavors that can enhance a dish without the need for additives. Cooking wine often contains added, this is very interesting. Thank you for asking the question, Lisa. A cooking wine often contains added salt and preservatives like potassium sorbate to extend the shelf life. The salt makes it unsuitable for drinking directly and alters the flavor profile of the dishes. Regular wine, no added salt or preservatives other than sulfites used for stabilization. Cooking wine typically has a lower alcohol content, but still enough to deglaze pans or simmer sauces. Regular wine varies based on the type, but is generally higher in alcohol than cooking wine. Cooking wine, its added salt and artificial taste can dominate or ruin delicate dishes if not used carefully. God, this is so interesting. Useful for recipes where wine is not a main flavor, but it's used to tenderize or deglaze. And regular wine adds a more authentic flavor to recipes, especially those where wine is a key ingredient, like coca vin, and risotto. More versatile and better for creating balanced, flavorful dishes. And then cooking wine's added salt can significantly increase sodium intake, blah, blah, blah. That is actually super interesting. So cooking wine, low quality, more salt, and more additives because it needs to be stable. So, hey, thanks for joining. Come on in, you guys. We're talking about insulin resistance. So every day, you guys, at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday, this is where I'm at, unless it's a holiday or I'm traveling. So here we are, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, talking about insulin resistance. And I love talking to you guys about how the very base of the conversation is always insulin resistance. It never changes. And everything else comes on top of that because I'm convinced that it's freaking connected to everything. Do you know that movie? Okay, so you know the movie, My Big Fat Greek Wedding. I love that movie. That is my family because I'm Italian. And I remember when it was released into the theaters and it was Thanksgiving. I think it might have been Christmas. But anyway, we went to my sister's house and man, this was a long time ago because she lived in one house for like 20 years. And so it was before that. So we go over to her house and she says, listen, we're going to have lunch. And then we are going to the theater today, which was not the norm for our family at all. A lot of people go to the theater on holidays. And we're like, what in the world? And she said, oh, no. We are going to the theater. So we literally ate our meal and then we set up the kids with, the oldest one for babysitting. And we all went to the theater and it was my mom, my sister, myself, our husbands, etc. And we lined up and we watched My Big Fat Greek Wedding. And I am telling you what, we howled for like the 2 hours that it was because we could identify every family member in connection to the character. But also, I had my hair looking exactly like hers, like in the 90s. So I have literally never not been asked since the launch of that movie. Not 1 year has ever passed that somebody doesn't say to me, do you know who you look like? Nia Vardalos. Because just whatever. I actually looked like her a lot, blah, blah, blah. So that's the connection. But in that movie, he says that Windex will cure everything. And so he sprays Windex on everything. Does anybody remember this? And that's how I feel about insulin resistance. You tell me your ailment and I'll tell you how it's connected to insulin resistance because over my studies now for a handful of years, like I started this 10 years ago. 10 years ago, you guys. I started with the trio 10 years ago. I started to change out my food ingredients. And during this whole process, I've been studying. You do, Cindy? See, I know it wasn't just me. Everybody remembers this. I spent all of this time literally studying, reading the books that I have on, like from Maria Emmerich. I have a whole stack up here going, this is connected to, oh my God, this is connected to, what? I mean, that's how my journey has been now for a long time because I'm shocked. This is why I'm fully convinced that women just like me, because I know that you're just like me, sliding into your 40s and it's like, and you kind of hit this brick wall. You're like, what just happened? Why can I not lose 1 pound? And all of the old stuff doesn't work anymore. And it's so dang frustrating. I used to count points. I used to go work hard in the gym. I used to go running. I used to live in a calorie deficit only. I used to blah, blah, blah. And even maybe your keto or your low carb, the way you've been doing it, isn't working anymore. And the reason why is because insulin is a hormone, and nobody is talking to you mostly, mainly, about weight loss through the lens of insulin resistance. I'm just saying. And if you put on the glasses of insulin resistance, what happens is all of a sudden you're like, oh, then you hear me when I say, if your insulin is high, and you may or may not even know it because you may have or may not have ever had a fasting insulin test. If your insulin is high, you can't burn fat. All of a sudden you can hear me saying that. Or if I say to you, if your liver is tired and toxic, you can't lose fat. And you're like, oh, and you hear it for the first time, because now things start to make sense on how connected everything is inside of your body. It's all connected. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. You are made to be a Porsche that actually functions. And over time, we've just kind of trashed the system. We've chosen not to change out our oil. We've chosen not to maybe shift what we were putting into our gas tank. We've chosen to maybe overwhelm our liver with sometimes alcohol, like we were talking about today, or prescription meds, or over-the-counter meds, or seed oils, or high fructose corn syrup, and freaking everything we eat. Can you see now how this piles up, and then our system doesn't function like we want it to function? And we're like, come on. And we're like trying to make it function. So that's why, in talking about if you can go from insulin resistant to insulin sensitive, everything changes. Everything can change. It's a healing journey. No claims of like, whatever. I always say jazz hands, but no claims of like overnight and there's more. No. This is a healing journey. But if you will give yourself permission for the healing journey, man, I am telling you, you could make December 2024 your starting point if you haven't started yet. And you could make January 2025 a completely different start to a brand new year. It can be completely different. It's an amazing concept, right? So basically, what do I teach for this track to run on? This is different than I think everybody else is doing. And it's born out of my most authentic story of how I started. I started with targeted supplements because I did not think that I could trade out my foods, because I'm Italian. And if you come from a culture of food, you know that everything is very connected, right? Everything is very connected. You eat because you're happy, you eat because you're sad, etc., right? So, there's a lot of other reasons too that could be a part of that. But the point being that was something I didn't think I could ever do. So I supplemented. So I teach targeted supplementation. I talk about it all the time. And then I teach it food ingredient trade outs. So today is the beginning of our 19th 5-day free challenge. In the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. I put that up there for people on TikTok. Go to the group, get into the group. And then at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, today through Friday, we're going to talk insulin resistance so you can have better understanding. We're going to do ingredient trade outs. How did I do this as an Italian girl who thought she was never going to trade out her foods? We're going to do a pantry and a fridge reveal. We're going to do like supplementation and a recipe so that you can feel more secure during the holiday season, so that you can feel better prepared to go through your social events, to go through like any holiday party or family gathering. And you know what that's like when you are with your family that can trigger you, that can say stupid things, that can be the food pushers in your life, that can constantly press your buttons and say, come on, what's wrong with you? That's not sustainable. And it's all about balance. Like what? You can't be balanced. Now you can't have fun anymore, or whatever it is. Those are all pieces that we just we want to avoid that. And so at the cost of avoiding it, we allow other people to dictate what we're doing in our life. And that is BS. Or somebody says to you, well, what do you mean you're not making that dish or those desserts this year? What do you mean? And sometimes it can take a few seasons, not just one. It can take a few seasons to get to the point where you've shifted what you're making and offering people, because you don't want the lash back of somebody basically saying, it could be small, like they don't even mean to be mean or anything like that, but maybe they're saying something super simple like, well, I can't believe you're not doing that anymore, or you've done that for 20 years, blah, 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 whatever. And because there are expectations on our performance. I can't possibly be the only one that has felt the expectation of performance during the month of December to show up with that certain dish, or to make those, maybe you have the cookie exchange. It's a lot. Makes us feel like, why bother? Makes us feel that way. So it can be very frustrating, and I understand that. So you can have a completely different track, and I would just welcome you into this journey of doing this completely differently. I welcome you. And so I had said it last Friday, and somebody reached out to me yesterday and they said, I heard you talk on your live about the good, better, or best option, and I will put together a cart that is customized for you. Okay? Because listen, if your insulin is high and you can't lose weight, that's why I put my picture up there on TikTok. I was at 2x. I thought I had to stop. I literally thought that I had to hate my life in order to lose weight, because that's what we were taught in the 90s. Go low fat, eat crap food. Like, why wouldn't you? Be happy with your little rice cake. Go low fat. Everything's going to taste horrible. Enjoy. Nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. What a bunch of BS. And then that's what we were marketed to. Go low fat. They added sugar into everything because they had to replace the loss of flavor. Okay. And then we were told to just grin and bear it, because soon you'll be so skinny, you'll feel great. It won't matter. I am complete opposite. I'm going to tell you how to still be a complete foodie. You can still be a foodie. Listen, your emotional eating is not going to go away overnight. Newsflash. Spoiler alert. It's not going to go away overnight, but it will go away over time if you do not give up. If you keep pressing and pressing on that point of frustration. It will, I promise you. But these were my realizations. I used carb blocker for 3 to 4 years while I was switching out my foods. I didn't watch live video. I didn't research a lot of stuff online. I did research with Maria Emmerich and stuff like that to switch out ingredients and recipes. But I basically went on my own journey, right? So I go on my own journey inside of my head. I always say it was just me and Jesus. I didn't tell people what I was doing. I basically just really wanted to assess my own triggers, my own frustrations, so that I could stop sabotaging my life at every turn. So I could stop sabotaging my efforts. So I took 3 to 4 years, but in that time, I learned ingredient trade-outs. I learned how to make new recipes, and I learned how to navigate the holidays. So the first holiday, maybe I did 15% better. Maybe the next one I did 40% better. Maybe the next one I did 60% better. And then all of a sudden, by my 4th season, and don't let that discourage you. Listen, time's going to pass anyway. If you don't give yourself a permission to journey, and yours could be fast, and I'll tell you that story in just a minute, I can help you compress time. But that's what it was from my journey. But then all of a sudden now I hit the holidays. I just am going to be honest. It's not because I have willpower. It's not because I'm so amazing. It's not because I'm just really mentally tough. No, I literally don't care anymore, because you cannot talk me out of how I feel when I wake up in the morning, and it has nothing to do with my size. Am I glad that I lost 3 sizes? Yep. Am I enjoying my journey more and more all the time? Yep. It's a factor for sure. But what's even more of a factor is to wake up and not be aching in my joints. I'll be 60 next month. I wake up, I don't take my routine, no scripts. I don't go to the doctor to get anything renewed. I don't go to Walgreens to get anything filled. I don't take something knowing that my side effect is going to suck, like Met and diarrhea, or maybe an HBP with exhaustion, or an STATIN that makes you feel like you've been hit by a bus, or an injection and constipation. I don't have any of that. So I'm telling you, the journey is worth it. You're worth it. You are worth the journey. You're worth the time. You're worth the effort. You're worth the investment. You are worth all of it, because you deserve to be able to do what it is that you want to do. For me, it's getting down on the floor with my grandbabies. For me, it's taking my business trips. I always tell women, it's like, listen, if you want to run your own business, connect with me. You can share my content, right? But my point being that when we go on business trips, like we took 2 of them this year. So this fall within a 1-month period. They were both 12-hour drives one way. I used to do those drives and I would get there and my ankles would be swollen. I would have to lay on the bed and put my feet up on the wall and just suffer the whole weekend because I ate so poorly getting there. So those are the things that I am so not interested in anymore. So I'm not like some superwoman that I never crave anything. I never have an emotional connection to food anymore. Like it's all fixed. No, come on, you guys. Don't do that. You're by you saying that or thinking that about somebody else, you're literally setting yourself up for sabotage. You're setting yourself up for, well, she can do it and I can't, so why bother? And then you go and you turn and you make a choice that's not beneficial for you. It's a form of self-sabotage, getting yourself to give yourself permission to fall. Now, when we do fall, which I've fell many, 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 many times, no shame, but don't set yourself up for it to begin with as much as possible. So what does that look like then for me? Let me share. When I know that I'm going to be like, I already know I know the things that make me want to have like an extra treat or an extra whatever, or I deserve, I've worked hard, or I know all of these things inside of me. You have to know yours inside of you. Okay. Or that there's going to be a social setting where you're just, oh, dang, you're just not going to want to not partake in all of the fun that everybody else is having. So we eat because we want it to be fun. We eat because we're bored. We eat because we deserve. We eat because we're sad. We eat because we're happy. We eat because we're tired. You get the drift, right? And everybody's different in what they're eating for. And because we are so insanely blessed to have so much food available to us, right? So there are a couple of components. One of them is major addiction that is created by the food industry. They've created foods to be very addictive. So once you get off of those and you don't eat those anymore, that helps bunches and bunches and bunches and bunches. When you go whole food, real food, wow. When you supplement and you shut off the food noise, wow, helpful. Then you're left with your own devices, okay? Somebody ticks you off, somebody whatever, like all of these pieces that make you normally grab for something. That doesn't just go away overnight, but what you can do is you can you can stop shaming yourself for feeling like you want to indulge in a moment of sadness or happiness. Stop judging yourself every 2 seconds and just have things available for you that are actually still like totally within your plan or whatever. You just know that you're maybe going to stall your weight loss for a minute. One of the things that I talk about the most is that when I was taking care of my mom with dementia, and that was so hard. Dementia sucks big time. It's so dumb. It's another reason why I stay on course. I do it for myself. I do it for my kids because insulin resistance, type 3 diabetes, is insulin resistance of the brain. So I'm not interested in that either. But my sister, I'd go to her house and do showers for my mom. And she had large containers of mixed nuts from Costco, which are like the best. And I just would find myself snacking on nuts. And it's just a response to stress, response to whatever. And so it's like, but I can eat nuts, right? Like nuts are a part of my plan. Meat, eggs, full fat dairy, non-starchy vegetables, berries for fruits, and then nuts and seeds. But I know that if I eat too many nuts, I'm just going to stall my weight loss. Well, whatever. At least I'm not eating chips. I mean, do you understand? Like I switched out my ingredients. It doesn't mean I fix my emotional eating right away. It doesn't mean I fix my stress eating right away. It doesn't mean that I fix my I deserve eating right away. But I'm going to stop shaming myself and I'm going to eat within my plan when I do it. I hope that makes sense. I'm not interested in, let's just pretend any given, like, okay, I just can't even think about it. But okay, if I went to, let's say, a party right now and they had all sorts of appetizers, and those appetizers were everything that's amazing about, using phyllo dough, pastries, and, just chips and guacamole and I don't even know what all of because I've got parties coming up. Everybody brings all of the most amazingness of amazingness, right? Because that's what we do at the holidays. Oh my gosh, if I spent an evening and I indulged in that, I would feel like trash. I would feel so gross. And I now associate that food with feeling gross, like, ugh. Like I don't want to wake up that way. Okay. But that doesn't mean that, like last year, what did I do? I'd made the pumpkin roll. Does anybody remember? I taught the pumpkin roll in the group. And I brought that everywhere that I went, knowing full well I was eating way too much almond flour for about 6 weeks. Totally stalled out my weight loss. But who cares? It didn't trigger me into something else. I don't know if that makes sense to everybody, but I'm just telling you. So compressing time is something that I do really well. And actually, you do it well. I present it. You're the one doing it. You should take full credit for being your own advocate. Terry, I saw was on here. Good to see you, Terry. Good to see you, Magda. Yay. Good morning. Like Terry took 8 months. She became grain-free, sugar-free, which is what I teach in the group. And she started the trio. And she's lost 42 pounds and she's 62 years old. So your body responds like the Porsche that it was created to be when you properly take course of the way that you're eating. You stop what got you into the pickle to begin with. You open up the hood of your car. Oh man, see? I have things all over the place here. You open up the hood of your car and you start to change the way that you're treating your engine. Bring down your sugars and your insulin, because if your insulin is high, you can't burn fat. Treat your liver completely differently because it's your fat metabolizing organ, and get your metabolism revved up. This is what I've done for over 11 years now. This is the trio, by the way. 11 years, a little over 10 years. This is what I've done. Fully supported me in losing 3 sizes now. And it's not magic. It's not magic. It's called undoing what's been done and going on a healing journey. So a good option, if you reach out to me and you say you want a cart, you want me to give you a cart, a good option is the trio. This is a really, really, really good option. A better option is if you wanted the trio with the gut primer and a probiotic, because a lot of people don't want constipation or indigestion. You want inflammation to come down in your gut. You know that your insulin resistance has led to leaky gut and you're leaching nutrients. Another huge layer for liver health. That's a better option. The best option is when you do the trio, the gut reset, and the orange pixie stick. And this just got released. And it tastes like orange candy. And that is a clinical dose of an extract that literally targets the visceral fat very specifically on your hips and your waist. And so losing inches off of those areas, I'm not even going to hype it because the testimonies are there from me, my husband, my friends, my customers. And if anybody needs, like if you're at the very beginning of that process and you're thinking about just the trio, which is perfect, and you need testimonies, go to my Instagram page. And at the top, there's a pink highlight bubble. And that has just oodles of testimonies. Like give yourself time to read through them. There's a lot. I should probably start a second bubble. But there are so many people that are concerned with their glucose levels. People that are concerned, they just found out that they do have high insulin because maybe by God's grace, somewhere they were given a fasting insulin test. And I say that because it's not normal. They don't give you the fasting insulin test. They wait until it shows up in your glucose and then they tell you you're pre-diabetic. And you could have done something about it like 20 years earlier. It's very frustrating. But there are so many people. I know weight is the number one thing that we talk about because everybody does want to lose weight. And I'll just be your best friend and tell you, listen, if your insulin is high or if your liver is tired and toxic, you won't be burning fat anytime soon. Now you can get an injection and you can lose weight, impacted waist, muscle, water, and it will do those. I mean, that's helping those pieces, right? But at what cost? Literally money-wise and or muscle loss. And listen, you're my age category. I know you are. You're not 25 and on my content. Usually. You're not usually 25. Because listen, you could dream about losing weight at 25. And pretty much, like make some headway. Maybe. But when I'm 59, I'll be 60 in January. It's a different ballgame, but Terry did it. Joanne, good to see you. Terry lost 42 pounds in 8 months. She's 62. Because when you deal with everything through the lens of insulin resistance, the game changes. That's how you change the game. If you want a different result, you have to have a different focal point. So insulin resistance is your key that shifts everything. So people getting off of meds, I'm not a doctor. They do it themselves. Getting off of getting off of anti-sadness, anti-anxiousness, getting off of HBP scripts. It's amazing. So I will see you guys at 3:00 Central Standard Time in the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. I cannot wait. It's our 19th challenge. And I want you to be resourced and encouraged and like you can nail December. And then don't be concerned because we're going to do another challenge in January. And then we'll do another challenge in February. We've done this. This will be our 19th one, you guys. Okay. So like, don't be discouraged. And if you're in the group, FYI, the Self-Sabotage No More series we did 6 evenings of reading through her book. And then I think it was the 7th evening that was her interview. It's in the group. So go and watch. I think that's guide number 6. And you can go through that and you can start to shift your mental capacity and your emotional capacity. We can do this. Terry says, make it a great day. That's right. I know. Linda says, Terry, what a great accomplishment. Good job. That's right. Thank you, Linda. Such a great accomplishment, you guys. And Terry, you just look fantastic. Fantastic. All right. See you guys later. See you tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And then in the group today, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. See you later. Have such a brilliant day, you guys.